morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever, what time you are finding yourself watching this. This is Namibian News. Welcome. I'm your co-host Aisha, and this is
Beatrice, and we are happy to
be back. This episode is sponsored by Emma. She has a small business where she prints t-shirts of this lekker by Jesus. You can find her details on the screen, and we will start with this episode. A few interesting stories have been happening this past 2 weeks. And you know, when you see these things, you are also like, oh, I wish I had more data. I wish I had more data to really like look into this and see what it is that's been going on. The first story is this Shannon Wasserfall story.
I think that one is catching. I think it's the main thing at the moment. So it is causing a lot of waves across our nation and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm not so sure if they broadcasted yesterday I know they did the judgment, but the sentencing I think is the one.
The sentencing is, I saw it has been postponed until June of this year. The thing is, when they were found not guilty, a lot of us were questioning our justice system. But what is at the core of this is that they were not found guilty on murder, because that was actually not the way that they explained. A lot of people are now currently blaming the Iranco police department for. Apparently, like one of them, I was reading the comments, and one guy was like, imagine paying all this money to these people, but yet they still could not find justice for somebody who literally is saying they're guilty. But the beauty of the justice system is that they actually do work with evidence, which at the core of it, you see that these people, from the beginning, they did not say they murdered her. They said it was an accident.
Yeah, because it's very much interesting, because I think at the heart of it, many people, they are displeased with the judgment because somebody is murdered. In a family lost a loved one and stuff like that. So how the father was very much angry by the fact that the child was sort of like murdered, and now people that have done it are not found guilty on the account of murder and stuff like that. So it's a sad story that it has to, because I think everybody was anticipating them to be found guilty, and in the way that the whole thing played out, that they were at the house and they started fighting, that was all pushing each other back and forth and so forth and so on, and she lost her life. And the digging burying under the sand and so forth. I think the nature of the whole case, everybody's anticipation was maybe it's a life in prison, or maybe 30 or maybe 20 years. At least there has to be at least something. And I think that's where the disappointment is. But now the thing is that the way the state was busy fighting the story, the what was reported, or the whole case around, only went on murder and fraud and what. So those were they established, and there was no reporting of culpable homicide. So now they can't find the guilty on that basis. But it's a tricky story, because now the whole question is, is the judge in error, or did she make the right judgment? Because that's where the whole debate and the whole thing is.
Yeah, but now the thing is, even Burke found them guilty of defeating or obstructing the cause of justice in connection to their attempt to hide. Because now, if you look at it, if you were following the story, you'll see that Azan was literally looking for the body or for Shannon with everybody else. And that's one of the things the uncle and the father was stating, is that this is literally somebody who was looking for our daughter with us. She was in, and I also understand that Azana is actually the godmother of Shannon's child as well. They've been in each other's lives for such a long time.
And now also the nature of the murder, what led to that fighting over a boyfriend and stuff like that. So many that, and I think that's the center of the judge's judgment to say, because now people are saying if it was a mistake, and it was not with the intent to kill, why did she not go out to go look for help? Or why did she not? And so with the nature that it is, they were friends, and it wasn't going to spill out to the extent of wanting to kill each other, you know. And but it's a little bit tricky. And my view is always that with justice, if it's in your favor, then it is justice for you. But if it is not in your favor, then it doesn't look like it is justice, you know. And now the other thing that is very much interesting, I was watching a clip on NBC. They were busy reporting on the thing, because now the prosecutor they need to be sentenced. There's a suggestion term of sentence that is supposed to be for 3 years, and I think a year being suspended and stuff like that. But for me, what I think is that, amen, so whatsoever sentencing they get, I think somewhere, somehow, there's going to be an appeal, you know, from the side of the family, because there's a lot of dissatisfaction. And also now, this case has always been in the public interest, whereby, you know, ever since the time she went missing, and when it was found out that it was a Zan, and the court proceedings and stuff like that. And also when you look at them, it's like, you know, they look pretty much like kids, like to say, you know, look at the things that they've done and stuff like that. So now it's in the pub. And now the other issue is that what's making matters worse, it is the public interest and what the media is busy reporting about the case. So meaning that now it's not one of those stories that you can say, okay, it happened and now it's done. You know what I'm trying to say? So, and the other thing as well, if they are going to be sentenced, whether, you know, it's those 3 years or 4 years, you know, it will still feel like it's not justice that has been done for the family. And once they get released, I feel like it is at that stage whereby they need to be protected from the society, because once they are, because I don't know whether it was the grandfather or somebody, you know, outside the court, those videos that permeated from the whole thing, saying, no, you know, we're not going to keep quiet, we're not going to stop, you know, type of stuff. So it feels like, and the problem about stuff that goes into the media space is that because now it involves emotions, loss of life and stuff like that. So even if a person that had never had the intention of doing anything to Azan, because of the nature of the thing, if they get to be released, people might even beat them, stone them, or just do something. So, but it's a little bit crazy and stuff. I saw there's a video the NBC released, and they were, and that's what I'm saying. That's what's putting a lot of fuel on the whole thing. They're busy interviewing people on the streets on their reaction based on the whole thing, you know. And many people, because I think it's like, I think the whole misunderstanding, you know, within the whole case is that many people are not well acquainted with the law and how the judiciary system get to work. You know what I'm trying to say? So now, in our minds, like, this person is the number one suspect. She admits that she pushed her, so at least she needs to be charged for the murder, you know. But now, the judge also can't just respond on emotion to say, because somebody died, you know, so let's sentence this person to 20 years or 30 years, you know, because that's what's gonna set. Because in as much as Shannon has rights, Azan also has rights, you know. But now the problem is that it feels like the person that is more affected has more rights compared to the person that is alive. And I think that's what many people are busy missing from the whole case, to say both has rights, and the state is trying to protect the rights of both people and trying to come to the right conclusion. Because the judge is saying the state could not produce adequate and sufficient evidence to prove that, to prove their case that Azan, you know, deserves, you know, a sentence for murder and stuff like that. I think the problem they did on their side is that maybe, but I also do not know whether you can report somebody on 2 counts to say capable homicide and murder, because now it feels like it's either it's murder or it's capable homicide, you know. And it's a little bit, and it's very tricky. And I think it's one of those things that for people who knows how the law works, so they are a little bit leaning on both sides to say maybe the judge played down or maybe the judge is right. But for someone who is not a little bit acquainted with the judiciary system, it's like we are reacting from the emotional part, But I'm trying to be neutral, not to say we are not sensitive that somebody's life was lost.
Yeah.
It's a very sensitive case, but the law still have to apply, because my thinking is, what if what Azan is saying is the truth?
Yeah.
Okay? Or what if the table switched and say the person that got killed was Azan? So the same reaction that you're having from Shannon's family could have still been the same reaction that you're having from Azan's family, So, but it's I think it's an ongoing case. We'll hear what the judgment is gonna be, but definitely I'm preempting for them what is the word's name, appealing the whole thing, and one thing had to be investigated towards the at least for capable homicide. But now for me the thing is that I might feel a little bit insensitive, but okay, let me rather not say what I'm thinking. Okay, cool.
Okay, the other story was literally happening in our hometown for the past week. There were by-elections in Cape Manswerb for the rural Cape Manswerb rural constituency.
Mm-hmm.
We had, I think, 5 candidates and parties. The IPC was one, SWAPO was one, LPM, independent candidate, as well as PDM.
And SWAPO.
Yeah, I said all.
Okay, cool.
So all of them, were competing. But what happened was quite interesting. The confusion sort of started when I think it was 120 people that were going to be re-registered to be able to be eligible to vote. But according to sources, it was only the SWAPO party people as well as the police officers that were informed by ECN. So people like I don't think it was only LPM. I also think people from PDM as well were there, and people were protesting against it at the police station in Cape Manswerb. And Mujoro, the guy being the one who
the center
of the whole situation. People are saying that he's the main guy. Apparently, I don't know where these people find these things. They're like, he's actually igniting for SWAPO to win and all these things, which is crazy. It has been a crazy week.
Because I had, what is this? I think LPM was saying, actually, Bernardo was simply saying, the police officers they are in the pocket of SWAPO and what stuff. But it was a very heated moment, because I think people ever since Friday night they slept at the police station, Saturday they slept at the police station, and then Sunday they slept at the police station. So I saw this clip. I think the LPM guys were busy. They were busy doing what? They were busy doing these live videos, investigating and seeing. So they saw this investigative car, for the police and stuff like that. And they were busy following the car and all type of stuff, back and forth there at the police station and stuff like that. Then one guy saw Mujoro talking to some of the SWAPO officials and what. So it was a little bit crazy, because I think the suspicion was they wanted to rig the elections, and stuff like that. So then now they had to come in and do all type of stuff. So, but now the thing is that now they are saying, since LPM won, there's no noise. You know what I'm saying? But if SWAPO could have won, then it could have meant that they've done something. And I think maybe for the sake of peace, so it came out like that. because I think if SWAPO could have won, it could have been very dramatic, because I mean, if the tension was already like that, then it could just have been intensified even more after the elections.
Yeah, but if you look at places like Arua, SWAPO actually did take the majority of the counts.
Really?
People were anticipating for Cape Manswerb. I think where LPM actually did win was with the mobile stations. Mobile stations is where they actually did win. And Quays, I think. But for the others, although even if they were like maybe 77, other people were like 74.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a big difference between all of them.
Because I think maybe close to 3,000 people voted, right? And I think the eight the gap between SWAPO and LPM, they said maybe like 400 or something.
It wasn't a really huge difference.
So, but it's a little bit tricky because the way that it is going and so forth. But now some other people are saying the guy that won Venom, there's now discussion to say, will he be able to connect with people on the ground?
Yeah.
Because now, I mean, we are 33 years into democracy now, but whether we want it or not, the stuff of racism has never died. You know what I'm trying to say? So there's a majority of people that feels like white people do not fully understand the position of the blacks.
Especially, I heard this. It's not a story we heard, but it is the truth. Is that he actually does have I think it's two or three, maybe two. I speak under correction.
Yeah.
He has farms, and now LBM is at the root core of it.
Yeah.
It's like these people are fighting for land,
Yeah.
and land technically, actually, in Namibia is two white people.
Yeah.
So I think the disconnect maybe might come, but LBM is a very tricky party.
Mm-hmm.
I call them the ABC community and LBM the family.
Yeah.
Everything for them is based upon emotions and not logicality. So even when they were talking about when this Vernon and them were actually going against the what is his name, Kilo, everybody was so like, they just want to ruin the reputation of LPM, but people do not actually listen to understand. They just listen so they can answer.
Yeah, because I think that was also one of the most heated up things to say. I think it was maybe 3-4 days before the election, then the Vernon issue surfaced. I think it was also in the papers and stuff like that, on their dissatisfaction towards the regional councillor, that is Joseph Isaacs and stuff like that, and sort of like all of those dynamics affected the progress of the election. Then the other thing was the pre-allocation for the heirs. I think also that one was also one of the things, because now people are busy reasoning to say, why are they only pre-allocating these heirs only now, a couple days before the elections? They had a press conference at the municipality where they were busy. Saber plus one point, they were busy sitting down and ironing and say, no, these things already been in the pipeline. It is just that sort of like it's consequently that everything made together prior to the elections and stuff like that, but they were busy fighting for people to be given land, and it just came out now and stuff like that. So it's a little bit crazy, but I think everybody needs to judge for themselves to say, is it a coincidence or is it deliberate? Because to me, I feel like with politics, almost everything that happens for a reason. If you have to see like in 2019 election, the fish roll type of a thing, that tells you that why did it only surface itself prior before elections? And it's those little details that if that did not surface, I think SWAPO could not have gotten the blow that they've gotten. And now you find like now the thing for Ven and them are taking the RPM and so forth, and plus the land issue, then now you begin to realize what is busy going on. Is it political games that have been played, or is it something that is genuine to say, okay, everything just consequently happened and stuff like that? Because people get to play cards, and I feel like politics, it's a mind game, so people do certain stuff, to either advantage or disadvantage the other people. But that's why it is. I was reaching out to Mr. Sabeb for an interview, and I don't know if he said okay, but I don't know if he's gonna, yeah, because the things, I feel like there are a lot of I think there are a lot of speculations about the party, the leadership, because many people feel like, the LPM has been at this journey of just firing their candidate, their core members, and for the past 5 years they haven't done really anything. and stuff like that. So the leadership of SWAT Boy has also been in question. People are speculating the guy's rude and this and that, all type of stuff that is busy happening. So I feel like the only way to iron out certain stuff is to have an interview with the guy, sit down and say, okay, let's talk about this type of stuff and all type of stuff. So, and on the other hand, there are people who still view him as a superstar, as a hero. I'm trying to say, So I think he might be one of the first, the first youngest governor, and the first youngest deputy minister for lands, and also the one of the youngest person that have formed out the party, and in the space of a short time. I'm trying to say, and I think it's these two divided views about the guy and about the party, and some people might not like him, some people are feeling, hey, Bernardes is the guy.
But at the end of the day, at the root of it, whoever is the leader of the party, the president of the party, it's because of that person that people do follow it. Because of that person's values and all these things. But now when somebody's values are actually rooted in, like, what many people call him rude, many people call him, like, he acts like he knows too much, and he's quite emotional. We know that as well. But it's like, logic, he is not one of those people that I think has emotional intelligence, because he's one of those leaders who, like, I need to answer if somebody says something. So it's like, even with me, I'm like, you did a lot of good things, but then the bad outweighs the good.
I saw a video on somebody. I think the guy used to be, maybe you might know him. Is it Dowsap? He used to be in Marenta. What is the guy's name? I think he used to be a councillor in Marenta. He was like in the municipality. He was an LPM member, I think. Then there was a broke out and stuff like that. So then he left. So he liked posting these things up, exposing how ill-mannered thing is and all that of stuff. And you get to hear like a snippet of the things that the guys say. The guy say, Bernardes is ungodly, no respect, sarcastic, all this type of stuff, man. That the guys. But I think that's the whole general sphere for politics and politicians, is that. And for the general public is for them to apply their minds based on what is there, and because I saw people, somebody was telling me, because I think they had like, I don't know whether it was a meeting, whether it's a briefing at St. Matthias, and they were giving them tea and what. So then a person that I dropped off in the afternoon was telling me, no, us went to go drink the tea, but we know who we are going to vote for.
I think everybody knows that.
Yeah, I was saying, and it's the same thing with the Arabs, that everybody really, and that's also the deception to say the crowd at the rallies doesn't really show a true reflection for the voting, because sometimes everybody's there with their own agenda. They are there to listen, they are there for the food, they are there for the t-shirt, they are there because somebody brought them in, or they are there to simply say, okay, let me go hear what the guy is saying. And or some people, they just follow it because this election atmosphere has been created and stuff like that. So, but for me, man, what I think is that, especially with young people, it is time, for them to be able to realize that it has been 33 years that pretty much, we are not saying that the government and politicians didn't do anything for our country. They've done what they could do, but there's this expectation that they will have done much. You know what I'm trying to say? And they need to, I feel like, because now, once the guy, LPM won, now everybody from beginning now need to go back to their own lives, and whatsoever life you're coming from, that's the life that you need to go to. And it might even be that you're running around those cars, whether it's swap, whether it's LPM. The guy might just pass you on the street and not give you a lift or just talk to you. That's why young people need to be edged, go back and create a life for yourself. If they find us halfway and help us and all that of stuff, let it be so, we appreciate. But getting to look back for the past 33 years and what was done for young people particularly, begin to realize that if we don't create a life of our own, I don't think our messiah is going to be the politicians and politics, because it's crazy. If I like people create unnecessary enemies during election time. It's like, why are you fighting against one another? I mean, it's just gonna be for 2 weeks. Then from there, it's finished. So now you're trying to make a big deal. But I think we have exhausted the politics, Mr. Bernardo. So congratulations to LPM, by the way, so for winning. Come out for the people and do what you're supposed to be doing for everybody else. And I think everybody's expecting to see what are they gonna do and what, because I think it's only maybe this year, the next year, then again it's election. So, but yeah. But also the other thing as well before we go, I don't know what is Mr. Herky gonna do, whether he's gonna form his own party. Because now the man is totally as I'm gonna say.
Just go ahead, do this. Okay, so we are continuing with one of those topics or headlines that has been happening. The same-sex marriage is legally concluded outside Namibia must be recognized by the Namibian government, says the Supreme Court. Which to me is like, guys.
It's crazy because to me, whether before the judgment or after the judgment, I was expecting the founding father, Dr. Sam Safishuna Nuyoma, to speak the same words that he was saying. We condemn lesbianism. What was that? I said no homosexualism. What was the guy was simply saying? Because I think 20, 30 years ago, there was a clear stance on homosexuality and lesbianism in our country, and not only among the people down, but even among those that led us. You know what I'm trying to say? But now is that everything is just loose. So I'm expecting the founding father to simply say no, but it's not. We didn't fight. We didn't fight to liberate this country for us to legalize stuff like this. But now it feels like, hey, the courts have ruled, and that's it.
One of the things that actually does resonate me is the fact that they are saying, because now in Namibia people cannot get married locally, but it's only a matter of time, to be honest, at this point. Now they're saying even if you get married outside of Namibia, when you come back into Namibia, it has to be legal. It has to, because the grounds of your marriage, you have to be able to live together, buy a house together. And then it's going to turn into the whole thing of you can't adopt children. To be honest. Yeah,
because I think is that I feel like the whole gay community within our nation, it's a massive victory for them, and it gives them much more hope in terms of what they can do and win within the judiciary system based on what they feel like they're entitled to as a community. And I think it's just one of those victories, it's an inch, but now they've realized, no, we can take this thing further. Don't you understand?
Which to me is crazy, because now in the beginning we were very, like you were saying, in the beginning we were very steadfast on this is not going to happen. But now if you tell people, even though you get outside of Namibia, you get married, come back, your marriage is going to be legalized by our Home Affairs. It's like I'm saying, a couple of months into it, and then it will be like, you can get married. I mean, churches, and then people will start, the government literally will start forcing churches to marry these people. And then it will be the municipalities and all these things will be forced to let these people buy houses. And then I'm telling you what is going to happen. And the social services is going to be forced to let these people adopt. Because the spiralists, at the beginning, we had an issue with them getting married because we knew this was going to happen. But now, when that one door has been opened, it's going to unleash all of these nonsensical things.
Because I think that's where it is. And I feel like to where we are now, man, some of the things we can try, we have tried, or the government have tried their best to keep out certain stuff. But to a certain extent, I don't think some of the things they will be able to fight it, not to prohibit it anymore. Because I think in the future, it's gonna be like, hey man, certain things like that are gonna be legalized, but it's based on individuals to choose, am I going for these things or am I not? Because later on, stuff like polygamy,
pedophilia,
all this type of stuff. What is the other thing that I wanted to say? Abortion, I think that thing is still also in the pipeline. They need to make a judgment and a ruling in the parliament. So all of those things are things that are busy coming. So I think it leaves us as a nation, as individuals, to say, where are you standing as an individual person? Because now, if a 19-year-old child in the house tells his parents, you know what, I'm in love with another man, or I'm in a relationship with another man, you can't beat that child, you can't do anything, because when they go report to you, it's like that is their right, they can do what. So it brings all of this type of stuff whereby even the parents, you know, are being handicapped, because you can't really do much, because now it feels like it is their right, you know, they're entitled to do whatever they want to do with their body. And I think, what is the guy, they call him Mr. CEO, or the head of the gay right movement, Hamtenya guy, is the guy was busy celebrating, we've won, all type of stuff.
I saw.
You know? Yeah, so.
One of the things that actually, I think a lot of us do not look at the root core of the issue is that, I'm not saying every gay person or whatever is, you know, is sexually perverted.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that when you look at the current state of America, the day that they actually legalized homosexuality and marriage between men and women, there's this new movement that sort of like popped out of nowhere, the transgender system, where now men are literally allowed to be in spaces of women, where you see transgender women can actually be in the same jail system, same toilet, same whatever, with other women.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, I was watching one of these videos of Sydney Watson where she was saying, little by little we don't realize, but they are busy with erasure of women.
Yeah.
Because in America you cannot even say woman anymore. You have to say womb carrier. You have to say things like chest feeder, and like people are now coming out with non-binary. The gender doesn't have binary, and even for people looking at it now, it's like it's just gay people. They just want to get married. Yeah. But if you open that door,
I think the catchy part about it is that the gay community know what they want, but the judiciary system doesn't really know how far this thing can go. You know what I'm trying to say? Because now you can't give somebody the right to something if you also can't take it in the educational sector. You know what I'm trying to say? So now we need to start teaching kids that, you know what, a man and a man can get married, a woman and a woman can get married, that these people can stay together, they can hold hands, you know, kiss on the street, whatever thing is that, and that's where it's going. And I hope it wasn't just a judgment in terms of let's give them rights, but they're supposed to foresee what it can bring within the future. But you tell us what you think, tell us your thoughts, you know, in terms of, you know, what you think about the whole thing. But that's where we are. And a lot of people came out and said, finally, you know, it's time for you to accept, it's time for men to get married. I think everybody that has been in the closet and stuff like that now is coming out and so forth. But everybody has their own stance, you know, but the fear is that we hope it doesn't go on to bring all the other stuff that people did not anticipate. Because now the other thing is that once something is being passed, you know, for you to go stop it after it's passed, and after people got the news of something, it becomes difficult. So then now you find like imagine, and this is what I'm busy for saying. You find like a 13-year-old girl, you know, wants to date another girl. You know, at this stage, those stuffs are there. But people are not just going public. But now when this stuff have been made public, you start finding, you know, girls to girls, whether they are teenagers, whether they're elderly people, stuff like that. And even to the case whereby you can find somebody that is 70, 80 years old dating another man. You know, that's where it's going. And that's why I think like we're at the stage whereby everybody needs to choose, you know, the side that they are at the story, because at the end of the day, anybody can fall in the prey, a family member, or even to say people that have been married for a long time, then your dad or your mom comes out and say, I'm in love. You know what I'm saying? That's where it's going, you know, and that's what people they are not anticipating. Or even the judges themselves, or even the president themselves, you know what I'm saying? And you begin to realize that now, how do we lead the nation and do all type of stuff? But it's in everybody's court to decide where this whole thing is gonna be going. Okay.
Yeah. The other story is that, you know, Nampower is owed money, and Nampower has decided we are going South African style on them now.
we are bringing load shedding.
Load shedding is gonna be taking part.
We are creating our own. Yeah.
in most of the south and like part of the southern region, I think Yetman's municipality is the only one that's exempted from it, which means Narinta, like constituencies like Beersheba, what is that one? Namibia, all everybody.
And Karasberg and all these other places. So it's a little bit crazy, man. So, and they say their biggest suppliers is city of Windhoek, you know, and you begin to realize that they are also in debt, you know. As I was hearing them, they were saying, I think it's gonna be next month when they say they start doing this thing, you know, 4 hours without electricity, then they bring it on again, and I say, but for me, no, the tricky part about the whole thing is that you find like, because the only people that have conventional meters, you know, that they don't have to pay like the prepaid and stuff like that. The majority is like it's businesses, it is government institution, it is the private sector and all those type of stuff. So those are the ones that majority, they might be the ones that are owing a lot of money. But then you find like now individual people have prepaids in their houses. So now that person does not owe anything. Come down and say so. Yeah, they have to suffer now. They'll say, I'm not the one that is saying that municipality to owe and all type of stuff, why they not pay. So now it's like, now I need to sit 4 hours without electricity, not because they can't be power, but because now they're switched off. Now power switched off. You know? And for me, the thing I was thinking is that sometimes we think like we are in charge of our own lives, but somebody can just cock us in the board and say, now we are cutting. It's like the whole country goes on blackout. Like, oh, it's funny, man, how our lives is just in the hands of people. You know what I'm saying?
When I saw the headline, I was like, I did not care about other people. I was just checking for kids, but I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, because at least now it's better that we are not on it. But I think if they have to start cutting within these towns and stuff like that, it's gonna cause an uproar, because I feel like it's a disadvantage to say I paid, I'm having a prepaid, and now I'm without electricity. Not because there's shortage of, it's another thing if there's shortage of electricity. You know, but now is that the electricity is there, but I have to suffer the consequence because of those that didn't pay.
One of the things I'm actually thinking about right now is places like the hospital.
Yeah.
Imagine.
But I think those people, man, I think they has to have backup, because
generators.
Yeah.
But now in places like Marinda
So it's gonna be. I think it's one of those dynamics. Yeah. Schools, hostels, clinics. I don't know if clinics they also have outsourced power and stuff like that. Then now the business sector. You know, now you have now the KFC, the Hungry Lion, the Spa, the ShopRite, all these other places. But I think most of them, I think they have learned the lesson to because I think within the business sector, even if the electricity is switched, or even the wealthy, they don't really suffer that much, because they can have an alternative. The only people to suffer, it is the people that don't really have much. I can't buy an extra generator. I can't, go eat out at the restaurant or do whatever that I can. Now the person is relying on that electricity, and now it's not there, so it causes a lot of problems. But I think it might bring an uproar, within the country and stuff like that. But now power, the guy is saying, I think the CEO or the MD is saying, it's not like Nampower is broke. It's just that we need what has been owed to us to put it back in the coffers, So, but it's one of those stories that is, it's just, I don't know, man. Now I become. But the other funny part about it, we are getting our electricity from SA. But SA is experiencing shortages of electricity. That also doesn't make any sense. And I think today is Thursday. Yesterday and Tuesday, the minister, Pravin Gordhan, was summoned to Parliament to give answers. And I think the Reta, that used to be the CEO for ESCOM in SA, also appeared within the Parliament and is saying, there are some politicians that are in corruption and that are simply just making ESCOM to be what it is. That it's not like it's an unsolvable thing. And then
it's crazy to me, the electricity thing.
Yeah, because now also the thing is that you find like the people who are breaking down the power supply some of it is the people that are the contractors, because now they are being asked to come repair certain stuff, then they get money, So then now people have been sent to break down the stuff so they can be constant breakdowns in order for them to have constant businesses, So, but that's where we are. So the world we are living in, I think the other story, it is about the Elsin pastor. The Elsin, is it Elsin and IME, is it different? Different churches. Okay. So the Elsin pastor from Ruakana, I think Shifundeni, or what is his name? He has put himself in a situation. I don't know if I have to say a situation or the big situation. So this man, is part of an allegation of being in a relationship with another man. His name is he's a pastor of the Ruakana Elsin Church, Henrik Shifundeni, and this guy has been in a romantic relationship with a 24-year-old man, down there in the north. So the whole story goes like this. So the pastor allegedly has connection to the I think the chief of the police. So now he meets this boy that is dropped out of school in grade 9. So the boy goes to Windhoek. He was staying there at Wanahenda police station. That's where he was sleeping, looking for a job, can't get a job. And they end up they met apparently on Facebook, on social, whatever the whole instance is. So their first encounter was in Windhoek, and they went to the pastor's house, to the pastor's friend's house, and they did the act there, and the guy was paid $100 as a token of appreciation. It's like $100. Then he was promised the job, to say, okay, since you're looking for a job and all that of stuff, so I'm gonna link it. And they've been meeting up a couple of times. I think the second maybe 300, and send him a 700, and so forth and so on. Then the guy got agitated because now the guy is also in a situation. He doesn't have job, doesn't have money, and now he's waiting for the police job, and it seems like it's not coming. The guy say, if you're not gonna give me the job, then I'm going to take this thing to the media. Then the guy realized, my goodness, man, my name and my reputation is gonna be come to understand the church, and the guy is a prominent figure and stuff like that. So then he sent the guy some money just to quieten him up, but the guy was still adamant to say, "Exude the police van," and the whole story came out to the public media, and the guy now, the pastor, he's suicidal. They want to take his own life. I say, man, it's way too crazy. And for me is that I think it's one of those, like the gay thing, like we're busy talking. I think many people, are into this gayism type of stuff, but they are not just coming out. And to an extent of a pastor, it makes it even matters worse, because I think if the guy is a pastor, he must be able to know better that a man doesn't sleep with another man. And the guy, by the way, is a married man with 5 kids. So the guy is having five children. And now the whole thing is that because I think the church needs to take its own stance to say, hey, are we removing this guy from the thing? What is the disciplinary act on this guy? And now the mother came out and say, what he has done to my boy is not good. And that guy now is a criminal case now, because now they are telling the boy to retrieve messages from MTC, and also to prove to get bank statements to prove that this guy has sent him money and so forth and so on. But it looked like the guy is suing the pastor for $5 million.
What?
Yeah. Suing the guy for $5 million. That the guy say, the guy saying, no, my behind is painful. What? All of the things there. So the guy can't sleep to me. The guy just given me 4,000. So now, then they ask now this guy that is the leader for the gay movement, Amutenya guy. The guy said, no, all of those 2 gentlemen, they are part of our gay community. They are known, And now the guy is saying that the reason why this this boy is coming out is because he was promised 10,000 and he's only gotten 4,000, and now the other 6, the difference was making him to do those type of stuff. Now that guy is saying, we tell the older guys that are gays, don't go with the younger guys because those guys, they're gonna milk you out because of money. You know, and it's amazing that because sometimes also now, when you only hear one side of the story, it look like the boy is right and the pastor is wrong. But now, if it's at the stage whereby it was consensual, then that becomes something else. And the only way to prove and get a judgment is to go to court. You know, but I think within the pastor now, I think the guy sent the pastor sent the guy. I think it's also just to manipulate him to say, if you speak out, I'm going to take my own life, blah, 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 for the guy to feel sorry for him. But that guy is adamant to say, I don't care whether you take your life or not. I want my share. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, man, how all of these things get to turn out. And you wonder that if a pastor can be doing that, what about other people? You know, being in a relationship, whether it's women with women, men with men. And it's just so crazy. And I'm telling you now, man, later on, before you know, we'll be having churches that are, gay churches around our nation, you know, pastors and stuff like that, because that's where it's really going. But the pastor, I don't know, man, if the guy want to take his own life. But the guy, they ask him, the guy is simply saying, no, you know, that's not the whole truth. You know, I met the guy in Windhoek who exchanged numbers. I just wanted to help him because he didn't have a job, and I gave him some money and I bought him some clothes because, you know what, I'm a pastor and I just want to be a good guy. The guy said, no, that guy is lying. You know what, we met up a couple of times and this happened. So, amen. So I think it's one of those stories that they are very good to follow to see what they end. But now for me, I'm just feeling, how is the wife feeling? How is the kids feeling? How is the church feeling? And how is the community feeling? And also, it is within now a public matter, so it's crazy. Okay, I think let's move on to the crime. So the other issue, I think, is also coming out of the north. It is the 64-year-old, that lady, that lady says her plaque. You know, that guy, the guy properly, I don't know how to use the word properly, but beat the lady, which is a girlfriend, a 40-year-old man.
64 years old and a girlfriend. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, a 64-year-old lady that is a girlfriend to a 40-year-old man. And by the way, the guy apparently is an Angolan national that is residing in Namibia and that is in a relationship with this woman. Now sometimes you realize that, does she have kids? And how does the kids feel about the whole thing? You know what I'm trying to say? But to me, I feel like, in this big, not going to say big, but wide range age difference, there's always those bases of insecurity whereby maybe this woman is gonna take a man of her age, or the man is gonna, the boyfriend is gonna take, girls, and there's always this jealousy and the insecurity that always leads to this type of violence, you know. And imagine sort of like the guy is beating his own mother. I mean, that's literally what it is. I mean, the guy.
If you look at the age gap,
And that guy was very violent because the guy started beating the lady, called the lady apparently behind the cooker shop, and started assaulting her. She ran at the home, went into the hut that they were staying. The guy set the hut on fire. She ran out and assaulted the lady with a panga, I think, choked her maybe 2 times and stuff like that.
I think it's also on the knee or something.
Yeah, and if you look at the lady's face, oh my goodness, it's almost she can literally not see. And for me, it's so embarrassing, man, for what is a 46-year-old lady doing with a 40-year-old guy?
And even my thing is the dating. Why would she be dating? She's a grandmother. They don't need to stop.
Yeah. I think the other story that's connecting to that, I hope I'm not gonna be sued, because other guy is so afraid to be sued, is the president's wife, Ms. Geingos, saying.
Oh.
Yes. Because there are people who feels like also that there's also a big age gap, between the two, but she's saying, but one guy commented, I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to be sued. I think that's my stance. I got to comment.
And she said something that I saw in the newspapers was that young women need to start studying so they cannot be in relationships and consensual sex. You know what is happening in the movie is like she literally, I don't want to say she's one of them. I don't want to be sued. I don't have money. But now when you are giving that kind of advice, we get it. You have your own life. You know. But the other thing is also look at the age gap between you and your husband as well before you actually
give advice to other people.
Yeah, and also look at the circumstances. I don't want to say that circumstances should push somebody to date somebody that huge age gap. But the reality of our lives currently is just that. You know, you get people who are 10 years older than each other and they love each other. But at the end of the day, when we are giving advice, we need to be very sensitive, especially. Do not be in the same situation and be giving people advice. Like
because I feel like, you know, based on what she said, the people took like, you know, look who's saying what.
Exactly, even though you have your own life.
You know, say, you know, but how do you expect to give such an advice if it feels like you're, because the thing is that the way it looks like, sort of like, it's okay at the stage where they are, but if you could have narrowed down their ages to say it comes like to 40 or 50.
How old is she?
I think she's very young, man.
I think she's like 40 something, and our president is quite old.
I think the guy is going to 70. Let's just check.
No, the president is maybe 72.
Monica Geingos' age. Okay, Monica. First lady.
Monica likes sweet people.
She's 46 now.
And the husband?
46, let's say, President Geingos. Okay, there we go.
She's 46.
Yeah, she's 40. The guy is 81.
46 minus 81. Imagine 35 years.
Your
difference is 35 years. Somebody's child is 35 years old.
So, and now let me say now you say you bring them. Let's say if let's say if Geingos was 50, so minus 50 minus 35 years. Let's see what's the thing gonna be.
50 minus 35. 50.
50. Now you see that. So it's sort of like if you could bring it down, it's sort of like it is. Mr. Geingos is dating a 15-year-old.
Yeah, it's crazy because now, I don't know. People are so emotionally fueled, but then they don't realize what they're saying actually does. Now for her, it's a thing of like I'm married. And they are just girlfriend and boyfriend, but it's the same.
Yeah, but it's still the same. It's the same thing. But Mr. Geingos, please don't come for us.
We don't have money.
I'm not saying we are just saying, but that's where we are. But certain things, man, is like I think, regardless of the whole situation and stuff like that. So people were like they raise their eyebrows and say, "Look at who's saying what," and stuff like that. And I think many people are at a place where, let me not say something before I get.
It's almost 40 years.
Yeah, it's like it's a lot of years, man, and that can be. Like maybe your firstborn or something.
Could have been a father.
Yeah, but also the thing is that and the other thing is as well. I don't know if Geingos has children beside beside them being the relationship, because it might literally be.
I think both of them have children outside.
Yeah,
they don't have children together, but they have outside.
And that might even be that one of those children
might be 35.
Yeah, might be 30 or close to. If she's 46 now, so that says something. But that's what's busy happening. But hierdie auntie van 64 says her plaque, the guy beat, and I say what type of anger is that guy having, man, to literally just beat.
Take a bunker.
Yeah, and for a lady, but those relationships always a problem. And the other story is about the Standard Bank. I don't know what's wrong with Standard Bank, man. Standard Bank, people have found a gateway to make money. So this guy is an employee, Mario Santos, is accused of stealing 1.7 million from his former employee. The guy has appeared in the Rundu Magistrate Court on Thursday. So Santos, I think, is 33 years old now. And the allegations that are there, I think, is money laundering and what money laundering. Let me just quickly verify real quickly. So the allegations that are there, it's theft, fraud, and money laundering. That's the whole thing. And the guy did this thing between the 1st of August 2021 to the 31st of August last year. So the guy And what the guy is simply doing, he allegedly claimed and transferred unclaimed money, which was in the bank's account and belonged to different clients. So it's money that belonged to people, and the guy took it and moved it around, and it accumulated to 1.7 million. And it's crazy, man. And now 33 is pretty much young, but the only thing is that with working with money, if you don't really guide your heart, it's like working in a candy store or ice cream stores. You end up
when you are sweet, you would end up stealing.
I'm saying, so that's where the whole problem is. So the guy, but the interesting part of the story is that ever since the guy was arrested, the court doesn't want to give the guy bail, and the guy is finding that a problem. So he has been appealing with his bail application and stuff like that. So, but I think the case was still been was postponed. Yeah, was postponed to the I think somewhere 18 July. And the guy feels like it's unfair, was not got arrested. But now the court is simply saying that guy is a threat. He might tamper into the evidence and so forth and so on. But they say if you are unwilling to do the time, then you must not do the crime. But if you do the crime, then you must be willing to do the time. So that's where we are. But the other story, it is on the entertainment. Mr. Gaza, what is the guy's name? Shimi? Lazarus Shimi. So
His name.
real name, yeah. So Lazarus.
I know the Shimi, but I don't know if
it's Lazarus. The guy is a Bible name. But what's amazing also with this guy, man, the major transformation that the guy has went through from growing beard to plating and stuff like that. It's the same thing with this gospel artist. What is his name? Dinaf, where the guy is also plating now.
Dinaf is plating, yeah.
Oh, Dinaf is in the thing of plating now. Right? It's like, and I think that's where to the most part of what people do not understand, I think just like the dog says, I'm the business and the brand. So they need to brand themselves in such a way that they make money out of their own image, and I think that's what it is. But Gaza has been going through this major transition and stuff. I don't even see him quite often, with the sales of the GMP clothing line. I think you see him much more casual clothes and other brands and stuff like that, but that's where it is. But now this guy, there's a time that he did projects for KFC in Namibia. I think the whole deal was for 2 million. Then he got this what is the Trinity transactional thing, that was supposed to facilitate. They're supposed to get consultation advice from these people. So the deal was he has to they have to get 20% off from the 20 million. That was like maybe gonna be like 500,000 or something, So then now the whole problem is now they're in a lawsuit. There's people that reported that the guy only paid us 180,000 and the deal was 500. I think it was 560 or something, And now they are going back and forth, and Lazarus Shim is saying, no, these guys didn't do a proper job, and they showed me some attitudes and all type of stuff, so I'm gonna pay them the 180 and that's it. And the guys, it feels like the consulting company doesn't want to pull back, Shimi doesn't want to pull back, and I say, hey, let's go settle it in court. But then for me, what I feel with court cases is you end up spending a lot of money on it than the money that you're supposed to actually get out. So sometimes you feel like, is it worth it to pursue a court case, or do you just have to live and say, okay, it's just one of those deals that it just work out there?
It's really troublesome because let's say if the thing is prolonged, because that's the justice system, unfortunately, it will be prolonged. The more you pay, the more you lose. And what if you actually you go inside court and you lose the case, then you don't have money anymore. You
I understand. And the things that you end up paying, and sometimes when you realize that there's no money, but the amount of money that is within the account, I mean, the guy, literally Gaza is just maybe taking pictures and saying some things, promoting KFC things, and the whole deal goes for 2 million. That's a lot of money. And now the other guys say, okay, no, we are the ones that are doing, that are sort of like the middle person to advise and to make how you're going to put the contract and all type of stuff. So we want 20% from that share because they realize now there's money,
money.
And now it's that battle of back and forth. But we are observing to say, I think the case also got thrown out. The other issue that is in there, the guys, they they didn't submit their witness statement earlier before time. There was a delay and all type of stuff. So it's crazy, but that's where we are. Then also the Miss Namibia story.
Miss Namibia is. I think we are currently at the top 10. I saw quite interestingly, the reason why I wanted to talk about it is it also is in alignment with this LGBTQ plus thing again, where they were like advertising it as the first ever transgender MC at Miss Namibia.
Really?
And I'm like, wow.
Oh, they're also finding spaces in.
They are finding spaces in Miss Namibia as well, and I think people were calling it history and whatever, and a lot of people were like, it's a woman's space.
Yeah.
You know, why can't we just have serious heterosexual men and women doing these things? And you know, you get both sides of the coin. People were upset, other people were happy. But
is the other guy also an MC? What is his name? Andriano.
I think he's one of Namibia's most prominent MCs.
Besides, the guy is also an actor and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he's also part of the LGBTQ community. Really? So what is crazy is that they're actually maneuvering in everything.
Yeah. Okay. So, but the other thing that is there, I think there's also a girl that is part of the top. That is also a Namibian from Kidmans.
Yeah, Ausha Abrahams. She's the former the beauty head girl of Cedella.
Really?
Yeah. She's actually, I think she's studying to be a teacher. I'm not sure. I might be wrong.
Okay. But I think there's a lot of things that goes within those beauty pageants and stuff. Because now sometimes I feel like there is a lot of discrimination because now they check within the body size. Do you have a child?
You're not supposed to have a child.
I understand. Those
or
things.
An abortion. Or anything. You should have never been pregnant. I think that's one of the rules. But now people are complaining about beauty pageants. Apparently do not involve all the beauty standards and all the beauty types and all. And it's like, can we just be fine with what we have?
Because now also other people who don't feel like they are slim enough to fit for, they feel like they're left out. Then now also you start realizing other people also start doing their own thing and stuff like that. But I think the standard is, I think Namibia is just trying to follow on the standard that is happening elsewhere.
Because unfortunately, whether you like it or not, Miss World and Miss Universe have their own standards, which means if the girl wins here, it's an automatic thing to go there. Yeah. So if you do not meet those standards, what is the use you won here? So we need to look at it from that lens as well.
So, but that's what's been happening in the entertainment. So let's shift on to sports.
Men City.
I think, guys, I'm Men City now. So next time I'm coming with the Men City. We are almost close. I think just a couple of games. Then we are gonna be crowned champions of the EPL.
I don't know why people like Men City. I mean, they're good, but I don't
I'm kidding, but I think we need to give them credit. So by the way, I'm still Barcelona, man. So Barcelona, I think they also won. They were playing with what is this team's name? Come on, man. How did I watched the game? What happened was they I think they won. Was it like 3-1 or something there? And now they're busy celebrating because they were playing an away game and they're celebrating their stadium. Then literally the fans burst out into the stadium and they need to run into the dressing room because they felt like it was disrespectful. They've won the league and now they're being celebrating in an away stadium. So the police, the security has to really come and do all type of stuff. But that's what's been happening. The only thing is that they fall out from the Champions League and stuff like that. But Pep Guardiola
is doing the most.
The guy is doing the most. I think the guy, when you hear him speak, about the team, he simply says, I was hearing his conference they hold after prior the match and after the match. The guy is simply saying one thing that they like about the team is that they are humble. Then he was talking about what is this guy, the number 10, this guy, the already decade, what is his name, Grealish. Yeah, so the guy was simply saying no. The guy was saying, what was he saying, man? He made a comment to say. He made a comment that was in line of pride and saying we're gonna win the title, something like something in that line. And Pep said, I don't like the double mentality. one need to be humble because every team want to win. But what he's simply saying is that what brings them to that place of consistency is that every time they go into the field, they just want to win that match. And I think they're saying like 23 matches that they played unbeaten so far. And you can really tell that.
I think Haaland now has more goals than the matches he played as well.
Yeah, so I think that's also. I saw there was something written on the boot like 35. Then he scratched it off. Then he wrote 36. You know, so prior to the I think it was the Champions League or Premier League game and stuff like that. But that's where they are. I think now they're aiming. I think Arsenal started well, but. Because I think in every aspect of life, your mental well-being really tell when pressure begin to amount. Because now it's those last few games, every team want to win because others are afraid to be relegated. Then the other teams also want to finish in the top fours because they want to play Champions League. Then the other ones are pushing to be on top of the table. So then now you begin to realize that everybody now just want to be winning. And as a result, if your mental capacity is not okay, and you begin to realize that Pep works in the mental. He asked them before the match when they went to go play with Real Madrid. He says, "Do you guys want to play with Inter Milan?" Sort of like he's giving them that picture. You know, if you want to play against Inter Milan, then you guys need to beat. Kind of thing. So even if when they were playing in that game, they were really playing for the final, and I think that's a good approach. I think him and the special one, Jose Mourinho, I think they've achieved so much in the football space than anybody else. You know, I think from every team they've been, whether guy being at Barca coming to thing, I think they've done a very fantastic job and stuff like that. But also on the other hand, for Barcelona. Xavi Hernandez, the former player that is the coach now, I think he's also having that pride moment to say, I've come in, and Barcelona hasn't been winning titles in the past seasons, and now him coming and winning, I think it's also a great achievement for them. Okay, the last section, and that is the international news. All of them coming out of SA, by the way. The undergoing case, I think this one is still going on for Senzo Mayua, the former, I think it's Orlando Pirates goalkeeper, and the Bafana captain, goalkeeper Senzo Mayua. The guy got murdered at Kelly Kumalo's mother's house, and this story is very interesting because there are two sides. The story is two-sided. The people that are reported for the murder are 5 guys. Then they are saying intruders came, and those intruders are the one that they demanded cell phones and phones and cell phones and money and stuff like that. So they end up fighting, and they shot Senzo, and Senzo died. But now now there's this other thing that are saying the people that are in the house know who killed Senzo. Because the other thing is that they are saying Zandi, which is Kelly Kumalo's sister, was in an argument with his boyfriend, and Senzo tried to stop the fight, then the gun went off. Yes. So now, and simultaneously enough, there are 2 dockets. The 365 and 366 or something like that, but there are 2 dockets. One docket implicates the 5 men that are currently on the dock now, and the other one that is unsigned, by the way, is implicating the people that were in the house. So now these people have been testifying. So far, 2 witnesses that were in the house testified, and the third one now is Kelly Kumalo's sister, which is Zandi. And there was also some scuffle back and forth with the court because she's saying she's not prepared to testify under under live recording of audio and video and stuff like that. So she handed in that application. They were busy battling. I think they battled it for about a year, and they had to give in their heads of arguments and stuff like that. But the judge today declined and said that cannot happen because the other interesting figure in that thing, it is Shololo. It's a woman advocate. He's saying because the whole interesting. I think Shololo also took the thing personal because he's telling the judge, my lord, this very same witness took me to social media. So she's not. It's not like she's shy of the public. She recorded. They did a documentary on the same case, and Grandmother said Netflix type of stuff, and I was saying, why is the problem now for you to testify under video and audio recording? So, but and I think now she's busy testifying, giving her account. Then after she's done, then they are going to do cross-examination. Now, that's also very much interesting, because the thing is that the other guy that tested, I mean the second witness, the guy, later on with the cross-examination, the guy was trying rectifying his statements. Understand? So the guy seemed to say the guy was beaten to confess and all that, things like that, man. So the case is a back and forth. Because that case, what's very, very funny is that apparently this, because the whole thing, because if you just put your logic to it, two guys came in, they were busy watching, I think, Chelsea and Arsenal's game or something, but it was Champions League or English Premier League. So the guys that came in, the guys stood and say, we want cell phones and money. One of Senzo's friend runs out of the house, and simultaneously enough, none of the intruders chased him. And now they're asking, how did the same guy pass the first guy and the second guy? How that is, it doesn't just get to make sense. You know what I'm saying? And when the guy got shot, they put him in a vehicle. What's amazing enough that Kelly went to the different car, and they took him to the hospital. But when they came back, the neighbors were busy. When they came back, the house was no longer in the same state. They cleaned up some blood and tried to arrange. So meaning that the scene was tampered with. Yeah. So it's all those type of stuff. So it's crazy. And now they are also, the person that is on the spotlight is Kelly Kumalo, because almost every boyfriend that Kelly
has died.
Yeah,
has been murdered.
So she has always been at the forefront of it. And now she's saying, I was so much under pressure, but now everybody can say whatsoever she wants.
I saw she has a show on Zanzi.
Yeah.
Like every now and then when I get to watch TV, I was watching that part. Yeah. And she's like, what am I supposed to do if people die, if they have killed?
If I was a current boyfriend, I'll be thinking and say, hey, I might be next. You know what I'm saying? So this lady is just, and there was a video that I checked whereby she's also very good in speaking in French, English in French accent.
But she's also very articulate.
But that's where the whole thing is. And the last case,
our favorite, Thabo Bester.
Thabo Bester. I think Thabo Bester is just one of that. He's playing with the judiciary, man. I think the guy is very much intelligent. Even if we're not giving him the credit for the crimes, but we're giving him the credit of thinking. Because the guy appeared now on on Tuesday. Tuesday was what?
Tuesday was
the 13th.
7?
I think So he appeared on Tuesday. And 16th. So the guy appeared on Tuesday, and he appeared virtually. But what was very much disturbing about the guy's appearance was the guy did not appear in inmate clothing. The guy appeared there. I think, what do they call it? The Barbary hoodie, and that hoodie alone cost like 19,000. So I think the guy is at that stage whereby I'm bringing it in your face. Say ever whatsoever you want to say, this is me. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's very crazy. And the girlfriend, by the way, is also hitting the waves with her makeups and stuff.
Somebody was like, when we were talking about the crime, the South African, one of the rappers of South Africa, his name is MT.
Yeah.
He literally commented on the picture like, I know she did a bad thing, but can we just say she's very good looking? And then everybody was like, I was scared to say that. And like literally people were just complimenting her.
Yeah, because now they were saying like they were interviewing people on the street based on her looks and stuff. And one lady said, at least one thing I like about Dr. Andy, but it doesn't look like her problems.
That's crazy.
So she put on her wedding ring, she put on
that
nails,
was also the other thing I
ages
didn't
and stuff.
understand.
Yeah, but now what the correctional facilities, the spokesperson was saying that if a person is not convicted, they are allowed to have access to their belongings, like the rings.
No, I'm saying like the whole time she was not married. I mean, she was married, but
no, I don't think they got divorced. By
she did not care about her marriage.
Yeah,
she was doing
now
this thing.
or maybe it's a ring from Thabo or something.
We don't know.
So and it's a crazy case, man. So and Thabo, now what's very much amazing is that his lawyers were busy saying the state need to satisfy itself whether the person that is before them is really Thabo Bester. And now the judge is asking him, then who are you representing then if it's not no, this one, because the other time Nandipa came and the state wanted the verification to know if it's the right one or not, type of stuff. So then now their next fight is to say they want the guy to appear in person because they need to get instruction from their client.
Yeah.
And I think if you remember in the first appearance of Thabo is that he was the guy, giving instruction to the thing about, them trying to poison him and all that of stuff. I think Thabo is at a place whereby he's so intelligent and he realized if I appear virtually and people are making decisions about my fate, I might get myself in hot. So if you think about something, he can call his lawyers and tell, okay, now at this stage, we need to do this and this and this. So at the end, when the guys, when they were busy dismissing the whole court case, the judge say, Mr. Thabo Bester, please stand. The guy stood and tell him that your case has been postponed to 20 June. And the guy asked, am I appearing virtually or in person? Oh, guys, very funny. The way that they just said, people, you can literally hear how people are laughing in the background. The guy.
And that's what I also think. What a lot of people are missing with Thabo is that Thabo has already been sentenced to life plus 77 years. Yeah. So for Thabo, he has nothing to lose at this point. It's like he doesn't care.
It's crazy, man. Oh, that guy is like, am I appearing in person? Is it virtually or am I appearing? Because the guy, I don't want to be there so I can say certain stuff. But also now, I think on the state side, I think the guy is like 5 hours away from Bloemfontein, where the whole court is saying. So now, based on, because I think they already stuff from the state whereby the case is gonna be postponed. So there was no reason for them to transport him from where he was, to Bloemfontein. So they have to make it. But now also the other stuff was there was no expectation for Nandipa to appear virtually. So and she also appeared virtually. And guess what? Her makeup is still done. Makeup
she's
is
doing
done,
all the
type of
things.
stuff, and you realize. But I think also maybe at this stage she's still taking chances. But I think when the judgment has been served, then I think that's the only time she's gonna realize the seriousness of the whole thing. But many people feel like Nandipa is very manipulative. First
you can literally see when she was sitting there.
Yeah.
It's also, I think what we miss about them is that there is definitely a part where they were talking about what is the move gonna be if they find us out. What are we gonna do? So I think you get two smart people who also are very criminally smart. Now you are in a situation where we think we are ahead of them, but they might have been ahead of us already.
What I'm trying to say, and also the thing that I think also the other cards that have been played between Thabo and Nandipa is. There is now that speculation to say who's going to betray who. That's why now Nandipa did not push for her bail application, but she reserved it for some other time to see, maybe are there going to be additional arrest between the other co-accused? Is there somebody that's going to spill out the beans, or is Thabo Bester going to turn her back against it, so that if things go, whatsoever way things goes, at least she has a place to say, okay, is it worth me pursuing the bail, or let me also just spill out the beans? Because I think just when she got arrested and that video came out with thing you were saying, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna do whatever, but it was just half of the whole conversation, and stuff like that. Then now when you listen to the whole convo, it feels like Nandipa has cheated on Thabo Bester, and Thabo Bester was saying he was gonna kill her and the guy and stuff like that. So now people are saying, based on all those type of stuff, this woman as well can't be trusted.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that are missing also.
Yeah, so
it's not that trust issue between the two of them.
But for me, people that I feel pity for, man, like his father, so, but also I was listening to this other lady, what's her name, Lelo and stuff like that. She has a podcast there, and she says, we're feeling pity for the old man, but the old man also participated knowingly in the whole thing, because the car that was used to take the body to the prison, he hired the car, drove it to the guy that works in prison, and he took the car and went to the hotel. So he knows, he knew exactly what he was doing and stuff like that. So, but that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very, very much for your time being with us. So please do know that this podcast was brought live by Emma. She's a local entrepreneur down in Swakopmund. She prints out t-shirts and stuff like that. There's lekker bediere, so you want to make use that you can support her. You can get your t-shirt, different sizes, different color for everybody. But as for now, catch us live to our next episode. We are out. And the other thing as well, before we go, please do subscribe. We want to reach at the end of the week, the end of the month, to a 500 subscribers. So please do that and hit the notification bell and help us to reach the mile, because then we can be able to advertise more and begin to bring you good content. But as for now,